Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and today I wanted to talk about Pokemon cards and collections. Now, if you are the same age as me and have been collecting since you were my age, you've probably amassed quite a collection, but for people like myself and for newer sort of people into the TCG, it's very hard, A, to know where to start, and B, to know what you want to do, what you want to collect. So today's video is really about the collection that I've decided to do, to share with people sort of the decision I made to not collect every card, because in my opinion that's impossible, but instead my goal is to collect every single Eevee and Eeveelution card that has been produced in English sets, and then maybe a few of the Japanese exclusive arts as well. But the main goal is to collect every English set card that has been released with Eevee or one of its Eeveelutions on it. And so far in my research, there have been, in the 20 or so years, there have been 384 cards produced in English for Eevee and its Eeveelutions, and so far in my collections throughout the years, I have about 22% of them. I have 84 cards. So I really wanted to build this channel to kind of document the cards that I am collecting and hopefully aim towards a full Eevee set collection at the end of it. That's easier said than done, although Eevee itself, many of its cards are commons, so quite common to collect and therefore quite cheap. Some of the Eeveelution cards, on the other hand, especially when you get towards Umbreon, are very, very expensive. I think the most expensive cards are the Delta, Umbreon and Espeon, and they go for thousands. So we'll work towards those perhaps, but I want to, as much as possible, have a complete collection of Eevee cards. So as I said, so far I've got 84 cards. Most of them are Eevees, most of them are towards the newer end of the sets, but I have started working backwards and getting some of the older sets. The card I obviously have the most of is Eevee. I have about a third of the Eevee cards that have been produced, and the one I have the least of is Umbreon. I have less than 10% of the cards that have been produced for Umbreon. A lot of the Umbreon cards tend to be on the rarer side, the hollows, the all arts, and the Shinies. Umbreon's had quite a few Shinies released, and when you have a shiny card, they're generally hard to come by, and they're quite expensive if you don't pull them yourself. And the first sets that I've completed on the newer side are the Jungle and Team Rocket sets. So I wanted to show a few of those cards off here because some younger viewers may not have seen them, how Pokemon cards used to be. So the first ones that we have are these ones here. Which are the hollows from the Jungle set. Now the Jungle set was in 1999 and was the second ever set produced, and of the 64 cards in the set, 7 of them are Eevee or its evolutions. This was obviously back when it was only Eevee, Jolteon, Flareon and Vaporeon. It was just Gen 1, and the set had 3 hollows of the evolutions, and then the same cards again but non-hollows, and then finally the set had an Eevee. So those were the first Eevee cards ever produced. They're pretty hard to come by in very good condition. You're going to want to, if you're going to collect these sort of cards, eBay is your place to go, but you do have to be quite careful. If you're looking to buy some of the cards from the older sort of sets, you do want to be buying from reputable sellers with a good seller rating. Bidding is generally not the way to go because you're never too sure what you're going to get, and it can be quite easy to get into a bidding war, especially when it's a rare card that's popping up. So it's always, in my opinion, better to go with the known sellers that are selling it for a price that you're happy to pay without having to get into a bidding war, and that's what I did. And for those cards, the Eevee was relatively inexpensive. It was just £1. The hollows are a little bit more expensive, but the price fluctuates. but you should expect to probably pay between £15 or £25 for the holo cards in very, very good condition. The set after that had Eevee cards was the Team Rocket set, which was the 4th set, and that came out in the 2000s, I believe, and there were 83 cards in that set, 4 of which were Eevee. Again, this was Gen 1, so there was no Umbreon or Espeon yet, but we have Eevee. You can see just there the little rocket logo, little R, and then it had its evolutions. There we go. Jolteon, Flareon and Vaporeon, and these are the dark Jolteon, Flareon and Vaporeon. So in particular I do have a little soft spot for this one because I had this one when I was little. But these ones are quite common. So these ones you can find from reputable sellers on eBay for about £1, £2 each, so they're not expensive at all. And they're the first 2 sets that came out with Eevees in them, so it's nice to have those 2 completed already, because it gets a lot harder after that. When you get into sort of the Gen 2, Gen 3 sort of cards in the sort of the mid-2000s, Pokemon's popularity dipped a bit, so those cards, there's not so many of them about, so it's harder to get to, but the goal of this is to document, you know, getting those cards over the next sort of few years. Moving on to some of the newer sets. One of the sets that I have not completed yet, that some of you may know quite well of, is a set called Evolving Skies. Now, when this set was announced, I was quite excited for it. It's a big set, but it's the set that's had the most Eevee cards in it. It is based around Eevee, and of the 237 cards in this set, 35 of them were Eevee cards, and I thought that was great. You know, this is going to be the set for me. So I went a bit, and I got quite a few packs to try and open, because I figured it was a good set. It was a good chance of pulling some good cards, and the cards that I managed to get, after opening quite a few packs, Glaceon seems to be the card that I got the most. So show those ones off. I managed to get the V Max of Glaceon, and the alternate art Glaceon V sitting on a bench, which was lovely. I also managed to pull an Espeon V, a Jolteon V Max. Obviously, it has an Eevee card, nice Eevee common, that was quite a few of those. And this card is the Sylveon V. I did manage to get a few other Vs, like the Charizard V and the Rayquaza, but I was mostly interested in the Eeveelution card. So of the 3 booster boxes I got, I did get a little bit unfortunate and didn't just get 1 Sylveon V. They ended up getting 4, 3 of which I have here. So not quite what I wanted, but I do have some spares of these, and because of that we are actually going to do a giveaway of this card. So if you are interested in getting your hands on a Sylveon V, please keep an eye on my Twitter, because I will be doing a Twitter giveaway in the next week or so, from the date of this upload, so you can get yourself one of these yourself. Back a little ways into 2020, there was a set called Hidden Fates, and Hidden Fates is really what got me back into Pokemon cards, because not only was it quite a nice artistic set, it had a shiny set in it, and before anything, before Eevees, before my favourite Pokemon, I am a shiny hunter at heart. I have been shiny hunting since Shinies existed. My first shiny was a Diglett back in Gold, which, sad to say, got stuck on Gold forever. But I have, since Ruby and Sapphire, been shiny hunting and collecting, and I have all of my shinies from Ruby and Sapphire upwards. So hopefully, as I start streaming, you'll get to see my shiny hunts that I do on stream, and you'll get to see my collection from back in the day. So Hidden Fates tied all of that together for me, and we opened quite a few packs after our wedding. The Shiny Vault had 94 cards in it. Of that, 6 of them were Eevees or Eeveelutions. We didn't pull any of the Eevee cards, but we did get quite lucky. We did get quite a few shiny cards. Shiny cards are not something that I am at the moment looking to build a full collection of, because they are very, very expensive. So that to me is not an attainable goal. There's so many shiny cards over the years, and some of them are very, very pricey. But we have been quite lucky moving into the sort of the shiny cards and hidden fates, that we have pulled some of the rarer ones. So as I said, we didn't pull any at the time, any evolution cards, but I have since picked up this card, which is probably my favourite card from Hidden Fates, which is the shiny Umbreon card. This did cost a little bit of a pretty penny, but obviously as it's both a shiny card and an evolution card, I thought it was worth it. I think this cost me about £50, unfortunately, which is pretty good going. It has been, when it was first released, it was well into the £100, £200 sort of range. So to get it a lot cheaper than that was quite good. These are packs that you can't really get easily anymore, so the likelihood of pulling this card myself was probably quite low. So I felt it was a worthwhile purchase. But when we were pulling the cards, we did get a little bit lucky in that the card that everybody wanted was obviously this one here, which is the shiny Charizard, and we were able to pull that one. We seem to have a bit of Charizard luck in this household, so we did get the shiny Charizard. But obviously it was the Eevee cards that I was more interested in, so you should expect to see a few more shiny Eevee cards picked up as these videos go on, if you're interested in seeing those. And after Hidden Fates success, another recent set was the Shining Fates set, which was a similar sort of set. It didn't have any Eevee cards in it, so not as exciting in my opinion, but it is a really lovely set as well. And obviously, like with Hidden Fates, it also had a shiny Charizard card, and for some reason we are quite that lucky, and we also did manage to pull the shiny Charizard for the Shiny Fates set, so we have both of them. But I would gladly trade all of them for the shiny Eevee cards, but I don't think my husband would be too happy about that. Charizards aside, I do think the Hidden Fates and the Shiny Fates sets are very good sets to start with if you are a collector and you like shiny cards in particular. Hidden Fates, obviously for me, has having the evolution cards was a really good set to kind of pull me back in. But they are a little bit hard to find these days. They weren't a proper set, they were a subset, so they don't have things like booster boxes and booster packs that you can just go out and buy. You do have to buy them in sort of like the collection boxes and things. So they're a little harder to find, but they are a great fun pack to open because of that opportunity to get like the shiny cards. Even the not sort of rarer cards, shiny cards are pretty. So these are what the regular shinies look like, so they all have little stars around them and have their shiny colorations. So even these sort of cards are very nice to look at. They're very good art. The Hidden Fates ones, I think, are the slightly more artistic side of things. So if you're looking at those sort of cards, I think the Hidden Fates ones are better. And they have Eevee cards in them, which is always a bonus in my opinion. But yeah, so if you like shiny cards, the Hidden Fates and Shiny Fates are good sets to open, and quite regularly in the sets going forward at the moment there is maybe 1 or 2 shiny cards. So it's always good to keep an eye on the sets that are coming out to see the shiny cards that are coming, so that's a really good thing to do if you're looking to collect a specific thing. Shiny cards are probably a little bit pricey, but a good sort of smaller way of collecting if that's what you're into. So that's a look at the first sort of cards that I've got in my collection as a sort of starting point to working on the goal of getting every Eevee card and every evolution card. I want to work towards that goal in the next sort of few years whilst documenting how that goes and what sort of sets we complete along the way, while giving you guys a look at some of the older and probably more obscure sets that aren't so popular anymore, or that were around before you were born. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed looking at some of the older cards, especially sort of the Team Rocket set is a personal favourite of mine. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you are interested in the giveaway, in which case please make sure you follow my Twitter. That giveaway will be going up this week sometime, so make sure you follow my Twitter just to keep apprised on when that goes live. And other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you stick around to my channel and like and subscribe if you can, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.